So, welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Hot Song Podcast. Today is February the 19th, 2026, and the topic for this evening is Soul Type 2, because we talked about Soul Type last week, and this is the continuation of that talk. And so just a little bit of recap what Soul Type is. Soul type is our soul identity, our core soul identity. So it's not the personality. The personality is something that, in this particular lifetime, in each lifetime, we, depending on our environment and who we innately are, we kind of created a personality. However, soul type is not the personality. It is the natural, it's about the soul. Is really the core soul identity. And it is the operating system of the soul has something to do with that. And it's also not the soul purpose, because soul type does not change from lifetime to lifetime. So your soul type is the same. It's the same. Your soul purpose for each lifetime may be different, but your soul type would be the same. So if you are, let's say, a healer, then each lifetime you may explore a different aspect of how to be a healer. However, so whatever aspect of the healer that you're exploring, that would be your soul purpose. That would be, however, your soul type would be the same every lifetime that you have on Earth, that it's the same soul type. You're just playing in a different playground and playing a different aspect of that. So it's also not the life purpose. So type is something very particular. So last time we talked a little bit about that there are 10 soul type, but I didn't quite start to I would say I didn't really define it very well. So let's just look at each of the soul type to give a somewhat more expanded or understanding of what each of the soul type is. So first one is visionary. The visionary soul type sees the big picture. That's what they they would aim to do. They are more future oriented. They are very intuitive, and they bring insight and foresight to inspire others and guide evolution. So they're operating in higher dimensions, and we will take a closer look at what each of the how what dimensions the visionary operates at a little later on. However, just know that they usually operate in the higher dimensions, bridging concepts with possibilities. So the visionary is really to look forward to what it is that can be brought to be grounded in a human experience. So future looking. And then the next soul type is alchemist. So alchemist seeks to transform energy and situations. They act as a universal connector. They connect things, and they by transforming energy. And they're skilled at synthesizing energies, bridging realms, so different realms, whether it is mental, spiritual, or cosmic. So alchemists are skilled at facilitating deep changes and integrating self with others. So that's what an alchemist do. And next So type is innovator. So innovator looks for new ways to solve problems or to express a situation. So they are creative problem solver. They are idea driven. They are very mentally sharp. They love structuring knowledge and generating inventive solutions. They focus on mental and higher dimensional energies as well. And then the next one is explorer. Explorers are adventurous. Think of people who like Columbus. They go out and explore, look at new territories, new experiences. So they are adventurous, curious, curiosity driven. They seek direct experience. They're not satisfied to just stay home and read books. They like to go out there and experience. So, and they use their experience to expand their awareness. They explore life, they explore energy, they explore consciousness. So these are all just different areas to explore. And they usually operates across multiple dimensions to discover new perspectives. And then the next soul type is sage. Sage are the I would say the wisdom explorer, let's say. They are spiritual, they are contemplative, they seek wisdom. They're deeply introspective and they are attuned to subtle energies. They're very sensitive to different shifts of energies, and their job is to guide others through their wisdom, through understanding, through reflections, through higher truths. And the next one is a creator soul type. Creator likes to make things. They produces, manifest, and express ideas into reality. So they try to use whatever it is that's in their head, new designs, new things to do, and they translate them into reality. They use their hands to make whatever it is, the image that they have in their mind. So they are creative, artistic, and inventive. And they bring inspiration into tangible forms, bridging inner vision with outer reality. So these are the hallmark of a creator soul type. And then there is the teachers. So teachers find ways to gather and shares knowledge in a very methodical way. They try to bridge mental clarity with spiritual insights. And what they want to do is actually to spread the knowledge that they have gathered. And they find a way to transmit their knowledge to the people around them. So they seek to educate, to guide, and to awaken others through structured wisdom. So that's the role of a teacher soul type. And then the next soul type is the diplomat. What the diplomat is skilled at is to harmonize and bring different or even opposing ideas into into harmony. So they're skilled at mediating and social. They have to be socially aware to pick up on what each party may want from the situation. So their job is to bridge people, groups, and energies. They're skilled at negotiating, finding common grounds, and finding solutions to conflicts, and maintaining energetic balance in relationships. These are the diplomats. And then there's a warrior soul type. Warriors are usually action-oriented, and their job is to protect and to stay grounded as well. So they have to be courageous and also disciplined, and to develop the strength in order to do their job. And they are very good at taking decisive actions in order to protect people. So take this decisive action in alignment with purpose, often defending or advancing higher principles. These are the roles that a warrior soul type would be skilled at. And the next one, and the last one as well, is the healer. Healers are nurturers. They seek to restore balance, and they are very empathetic as well in order to be able to do their work properly. So they work to restore balance and vitality in themselves and also in others as well. They're sensitive to emotional and energetic states, and they facilitate wholeness and alignment in order to restore balance. So these are the 10 soul types. Any questions so far before we continue on?
So we are going to find out the difference between the soul type and soul purpose. It cannot be soul purpose, and are they intertwined, or they could be totally different?
They are usually intertwined.
Oh, okay.
Usually intertwined. So the soul purpose and the soul type. So for example, let's say, so the
Visionary.
visionary. I'm I'm not a visionary, so I can't really speak to that. But
Uh-huh,
so my soul type is a sage.
uh-huh.
So I do know that, soul type may be a sage, but I could be a teacher in this. That could be my sole purpose in this lifetime, because part of teaching others and guiding others, that's kind of what a sage does. So in order for me to develop those abilities, then in one lifetime or maybe even a few lifetimes, I may want to take up the life purpose and the sole purpose of a teacher, just to learn that, just
Uh-huh.
to learn how to share my wisdom, so that eventually when my soul becomes more adept at living on earth, I may develop the wisdom. But before I can just share my wisdom, I have to know how to be a good teacher.
Uh-huh.
So it's your sole purpose may shift from life to life, but it will always be something that is related to your soul type.
So the soul type stays the same until we come back to Earth, right? It's only tied
Yeah, the
to
soul
Earth.
type stays the same. So you could have it you could be on Earth, maybe this is your 10th or even the 50th lifetimes. However, you are still exploring and you're still doing something that is related to your soul type, because it does not change.
Thank you.
It's so what may change is really the the environment and how it's being expressed. For example, a diplomat. You can be a diplomat, actually be a diplomat on Earth. However, let's say another lifetime you get to be on a different planet. So you can be a diplomat, but to deal with interplanetary issues rather than just international issues on Earth. So, like, whether you are being a human or whether you are doing something else in a different planet, your soul type still is the same. You just doing, depending on the situation, you just may be doing it at different levels. So let's take another look at these 10 soul types. So this is really to explore how the possible, I would say, life purpose that you may have. So for visionary, because your mission, the soul type mission, is to inspire and guide others through big picture insights. So you could be a futurist, you could be a strategist, you could be an innovator, entrepreneur, researcher, consultant, or thought leaders. So these are all different roles that you can take. And it does not mean that, because there are, how many billions of people on Earth. There could be at least a billion people that are visionaries. Let's say, for example, that does not mean that all the 1 billion visionaries are going to do exactly the same thing, because even within the role of inspiring, guiding others through big picture insight, there could be many ways that you can express that in your lifetime, in each lifetime. So, however, whatever you do, it would be something that is somehow related to inspiring others or guiding others through big picture insights. You could be, yeah, it could be an entrepreneur who is helping to helping the major international corporations to figure out how to um, build for, because the corporation can last forever. So you may be someone who actually tries to stay on the board members of a corporation to guide the corporation to navigate all the different things that are happening. Now, for the alchemist, transform energies, situations, and consciousness. So that's the mission of the alchemist. So you could be an energy worker, or you could be a therapist, you could be a healer, you could be a scientist, mediator, spiritual guide, coach. So all of these are different ways to express the idea of transforming energies and situations or consciousness. An innovator, the core mission of an innovator is to generate new ideas, systems, and solutions. So they are the creative thinkers. So, so, however, an innovator, what kind of job they would be in line with an innovator. So being an engineer, being an inventor, they can be a designer, could be a researcher, entrepreneur, they could be a AI developer or tech strategist. So all these are different ways to express that core mission of generating new ideas or systems and solutions. Explorer. Explorer is to expand consciousness through experience. So you could be a traveler, anthropologist, adventurer, field researcher, or experiential teacher or journalist. All of these are ways to express the core mission. So sage, the mission is to seek wisdom and uncover deeper truths. So philosophers could be a spiritual mentor, could be a writer, researcher, counselor, meditator, advisor. So all these are different ways to live as a sage soul type. For creators, manifest visions into tangible reality. So artists, musicians, writer, designers, inventor, entrepreneurs, performer. So all of these are different ways to create, how to manifest a vision, something that is non-tangible, into tangible reality. A teacher gather, systematize, and transmit knowledge. So many kinds of teachers. There are academic teachers. You could be a coach for a sports coach. You could be a mentor. You could be an author, workshop facilitator, spiritual teacher, or a trainer. All these are ways to live as a teacher soul type. For diplomat, core mission is to harmonize, mediate, and connect people. So you can be a corporate negotiator, you could be a counselor, HR leader, mediator, politician, community organizer, social entrepreneur. These are possible roles that you can take. For warriors is to act decisively, to protect and to uphold principles. So being in the military or just being in security, being security guard or somebody who looks into having how to make a place secure, or an activist, athlete, leaders, entrepreneur, advocate for justice. These are just some examples of the warrior soul type being expressed in a life role. So healer is to restore balance, nurture, and facilitate well-being. So being a doctor, a nurse, a therapist, counselor, a energy healer, energy worker, a wellness coach, spiritual healer, all of these are ways to express the healer soul type. Okay, so just to let you know that each of the soul type operates in different layers. So in terms of the planes of energy, so remember, 4 is emotional, 6 is physical, 8 is mental, 10 is spiritual, and 12 is cosmic energies. So we have these different planes of energy in us. So these 5 planes of energies. So within each of these soul type, there are layers of energy planes that these soul types are more dominant in. So, for example, for visionary, their dominance, the top 3 is really mental, spiritual, and cosmic. Being the spiritual being the most important. So spiritual and mental being the most prominent, and then cosmic is still prominent, but not as much as the others. The percentage for the healer is a little different. Percentage of the healer is really on the the emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual side. So these would be more important, especially the physical for the healer, because the healer mostly work on healing the physical. It could be emotional as well, or it could be mental and spiritual. So that's the healer. For the teachers are usually emotional, mental, and spiritual. So these are the three that is most important for teacher. And for warriors, they are more physical. So the physical, mental, and the emotional, those three are the most important for warrior. For sage, the sage is kind of like the visionary. They are so more the higher planes would be active. The spiritual and the cosmic is high, also mental is high as well for a sage. For creators, they need to translate an idea into physicality. So their physical is pretty strong as well, and mental and the spiritual. So these kind of the physical, mental, and spiritual, those are the three highest score for the creator. The alchemist is emotional, mental, and spiritual. That's the realm of the alchemist. Diplomat is emotional, and they're also good at mental and spiritual as well. For the innovator, they have to have good mental energy and good spiritual energy in order to, I would say, pull the more spiritual ideas down into the into physicality. And the explorer has to be strong in physical as well. So physical, like for this one, is like they have to be strong in everything. However, if you look at it different ways, let's see. So let's look at this. So this is another way of looking at the difference between the 10 soul type. This is in terms of the 5 planes of energy, and this is in terms of dimension. So we talked about how to use dimension anchors to find out which soul type you are. And so this is really how you figure out what soul type you are. So the TA is the true anchor, FA is focus anchor, and then LA is the lower anchor, UA is the upper anchor. So the lower anchor and the upper anchor is really your range. So for visionary, the range of dimension is from 6th dimension to the 12th dimension. For the alchemist is from 8 to the 13th dimension. And the difference is also to look at the true anchor as well. For visionary, the anchor is at 10th dimension, whereas their focus anchor is at the 9th dimension, meaning that their soul really feels at home when they're on the 10th dimension. They feel really grounded and calm and stable on the 10th dimension. At the 9th dimension, though, that's where they do most of their work in terms of being a visionary. And for the alchemists, they feel really at home. Their soul feel really at home on the 12th dimension. And they, on the 11th dimension, that's where they go to in order to do most of their work. So they access all the processing power that the 11th dimension gives them. Innovator, the range is from the 7th dimension to the 12th dimension, and they feel most at home in the 12th dimension, and they feel ready to work, to do work on the 10th dimension. Explorer and Sage, actually, they both feel most at home at the 10th dimension. And also they do work on the 9th dimension. However, the difference is that the Explorer, their range is from the 6th dimension to the 12th dimension, meaning that their soul can do work very comfortably between 6th and 12th dimension, whereas the Sage feels most comfortable between the 8th dimension and the 12th dimension. So the Sage usually, I would say, usually live in these higher dimensions. Their function is better suited to these. For the creator, because they have to bring ideas into form, so their range is from the 5th dimension to the 11th dimension. And they feel really most comfortable on the 10th dimension. They do work on the 9th dimension. So for teachers, their true anchor, where they feel most comfortable, is on the 8th dimension. The teacher is a little special because their role is to transmit and systematize knowledge. So they kind of have two dimensions that they do most of their work in, 5th dimension and the 8th dimension. So they are very mental dimensions. So both the 5th and the 8th are rather mental dimensions. And the range of the teacher is from the 4th dimension to the 10th dimension. So that is their range. For the diplomats, they feel most at home on the 9th dimension, and they are most ready to work on the 7th dimension. And their range is from the 4th to the 9th dimension. Warriors also feel at home on the 8th dimension, and they draw their processing power, their soul draw their processing power when they are working is from the 8th dimension. And the range is 4th dimension to 8th dimension. Healer feel most at home on the 8th dimension. They do most of their work, though, in the 6th dimension, and their range is between the 4th dimension and the 10th dimension. So questions before I move on? Any questions so far?
No questions.
Okay. If not, then let's continue. So last week, I mentioned that there are 3 ways to identify your soul type. You either use your birth data, meaning your birthday, time, location, also your name, those kind of very personal information to find your soul type. usually because usually if you know your birthday and time and location very accurately, then this is the most reliable way of identifying your soul type. However, having really correct birthdays or times is usually not as easy as it may seem, especially for if you are an older person. Because way back when, people are just not that I would say not that diligent in recording the birthday or time. Because when you give birth to a new baby, there usually is a lot going on. So that's why there are, besides using the birth data, there are two other methods. And last week we talked about using dimension anchors. And dimension anchors, when used properly, you can get between 85 to 95% accuracy. So last week we talked about what a true anchor is, what a focus anchor, what a lower anchor, and what an upper anchor. All these 4 different anchors, and also how to find those anchors, each of them. So if you know those 4 anchors, then there's a good chance that you can find what your soul type is. And then there is also another way of finding out what your soul type is, and that's by using archetypal questions. It's a questionnaire of 50 questions. So 5 questions for each soul type. So if you answer all those 50 questions the way they're supposed to be answered, then there's a good, like between 60 to 75% chance that you can get the accurate soul type. So let's take a closer look at using the archetypal questions. So the accuracy is only between 65 to how much? I forgot. Okay, to 60 to 75. Why this much? Why only between 60 and 75? Because a lot of the times we may not be in the right frame of mind to answer the questions properly. So that's why there are some instructions on the best way to approach the archetypal questions. One is, of course, to make sure you read the questions carefully and understand them. And also make sure that you're answering from current and natural experience, not what you want to be. Let's say I want to be a healer, then I would answer certain questions in a way that will somehow fudge it so that I can be a healer soul type. However, my natural soul type, my actual soul type, could be something else. It could be a sage, it could be a creator. So that's why it's important to be neutral and really answer from experience, not from what you want to be. So very important distinction. The second thing is to check for completeness, because there are 50 questions. So you may find that, some questions you really have to scratch your head because you're not familiar with the situation. Because if you're not that soul type, you may not have considered those questions before. So check completeness. So make sure that all 5 questions for each soul type has been answered. And so don't miss anything. And so Yep, this is really about making sure that you answer all the questions. You answer all the soul type. And also knowing that the archetypal questions, the accuracy is only between 60% to 75%. So use the dimension model as a backup as well. So dimension anchors as a backup, because there may be some, even if you are able to answer the question, the 50 questions to the best of your ability, but you may find that there are more than one soul type that have exactly the same score. That can happen sometimes. So in that case, then you need to fall back on dimension anchors to find out which one is your actual soul type. Of course, the other thing is, before you take the test, before you tackle the 50 questions, clear all active dimensions. So as we did last week, when we do the dimension anchors, is we deactivate all dimensions and then also reconnect to your your soul field. So USF activate. You release any misalignments and external influence, and also ground yourself before you start to answer the questions honestly and instinctively, meaning that don't think too hard. Usually the first answer that comes up based on your own experience is the best answer. How to score the questions. So for each statement, the way to score them, the way to answer is that if the statement is absolutely not true, give it a 0. If it's very mildly true, then a 1. If it's mostly true, but not always true, then a 2. If it's always true, absolutely true, then it's a 3. So these are the 4 possible answer. 0 is not true at all. 1 is mildly true, 2 is mostly true, and 3 is always or very true. So, and then these are the 50 questions. So I'm not going to go through all 50 of the questions. So these are available for you. And I also mentioned to you that, after you're done answering the questions, so what you do is you tally up. So each section is 5 questions. So you tally up the section for visionary and each of these 10 sections, and then find the section that has the highest score. If you have 1, meaning that, each, the maximum score you may have for each section, for each of the soul type, is 15 points. So if you have 15 points, that means that is a strong soul type for you. And the section with the highest score is most likely your soul type, especially if the highest score is 2 or more points above the others. If it's just 1 point above, then it's kind of iffy, because you may be, depending on your condition for the day, it is possible that if you answer it again another day, the score may be a little bit different. So if it's just 1 point difference, then it's not for sure. But usually if there's 2 or more points above the others, then that is a pretty good chance that the highest score is most likely your soul type. So if there are more than one with the highest score, then you need to use another method to find out what is your soul type. So that's really how you find out by using archetypal questions. And also, before you answer the questions, so what you do is make sure you do this, which is activate the Unified Soul Field, so USF activate. You do the total misalignments release meditation, the total resonance release. So total misalignment release activate, total resonance release activate, all dimension neutral activate. So you deactivate, meaning you just deactivate all dimensions, and then ground activate. And then you can start to answer the 50 questions. So any questions on the archetypal questions so far? You know how to do that?
With you.
Hey? What was that?
We know how to do that when you guide us.
Do you know how to do it by yourself?
You mean how to find out what type of soul? Or what?
Yeah.
Or remove misalignments?
How to find out what your soul type is? You know how to do it?
If you, yeah, should be
I
able
know
to.
that I'm teacher.
So do you have accurate birth time?
Mhm.
Wow, you're lucky.
I know.
That's amazing. When I asked my mom, she's like, maybe this.
No, my mom said 10:30, April 14, 1962.
What time? Oh,
10:30 in a
10:40.
PM in the evening.
Oh, wow. And she said it, and you believe her?
Mhm.
Okay, good for you.
Listen, I remember when I delivered my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It was 10:45 in the morning. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I remember my son's time because the hospital gave you a piece of metal and it wrote down. It has exactly which hour, which minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know mine because that time in the no, my mother said it's after dark.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Very approximate, yes.
My mom even said which hospital I was born. It doesn't exist anymore. I mean, but I know where.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Good for you. So you know your soul type. Excellent. So not
I
everyone
think
is as lucky as you.
Sifu told us our soul type, right?
Yeah,
Seafood
because you
did.
were
That's
in
why
the
I know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seafood.
because you were there at the retreat.
Mhm.
Yes.
And seafood told me what mine was too, but I was not sure of my birth time, so it was, so I actually found out I was a different soul type.
I should check a little bit because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because so I also have no accurate time.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, no,
After dark, it's a long time.
So, Winnie, you found out your soul type. How did you do that?
I did the dimension anchor. I did the
Okay.
dimension anchor, plus my guides told me as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my guides told me I was a different one as well. So,
So what you are, you teacher and sage,
uh,
healer?
so first according to the time that my mother told me, I am supposed to be a teacher, but my mom was kind of off on her timetable because she was not certain of the time, my birth time. So when I check the anchor, the dimension anchor, my dimension anchors show that I'm actually a sage. And my guides told me I'm a sage as well. So I would trust my guides
Yeah,
more than I trust the birth time that my mom gave me.
yeah, I agree.
Okay. Too bad because I don't know. Maybe the my guides, they listen to me. I don't see them. I don't know if I talk to them or whatever it is. I know it's and I never hear them back if I give any question. So I'm not there yet. Maybe one day we'll see.
Mhm.
Or I'll ask somebody if they can ask their guides to tell me what I am. So
Mhm. Well, your guides didn't say anything. Maybe Sifu gave you the right one. That is very possible.
Right.
You're still not convinced.
I don't know.
You
No,
don't know or you don't like it.
no, I like it. It's nice. That's not the issue. I like it. I'm just looking at that. Okay, I
So
Ah,
what you are, Nishi?
visionary. So
Visionary? Wow,
yeah.
you're lucky.
Okay.
It's a
Thank you.
great sign.
Thank you.
yes, that's a great type.
It's a great type.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why I have the meditation for tonight is a little bit different. Let me just actually share screen again. So, because I know some people may have trouble knowing what their so type is, so that's why the meditation tonight is to release any blockage to knowing what your so type is. So that's our
Oh, that's a
meditation for
good one.
tonight. So I
Okay.
thought that might be something that's good to do so that it makes it easier for those of you who do not know for certain what your soul type is, that somehow you would be able to find and get to know the answer after the blockages have been removed. So, sounds good?
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm just going to